everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Chloe and today I'm going to be making a video around why we should stop saying that poor people should not have children. It's my first video of 2023. Don't forget to comment what you think on this topic below. So before I get into my main arguments around this subject matter, I just kind of wanted to explain why I'm making this video. And in 2022, I saw a lot of content and conversation saying that poor people shouldn't have children and that it's selfish. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down why saying poor people shouldn't have children isn't the hot take you might think it is. And I think that the central part of this is that, yes, there is a trauma that comes with growing up poor. There is things that you experience that other people that did not grow up poor will not understand at all. And it's just as simple as that, right? But I just think it's unfortunate because rather than addressing the structural conditions which make the lives of poor people and poor families difficult, we're turning and pointing our hand at the poor family that is trying to provide for their children and saying, look, you didn't budget properly. That's why you're poor. You're poor because of your lack of intelligence. You didn't do the right courses at school. You didn't it's all of this sort of blaming. Saying poor people shouldn't have children, and more specifically, advocating for policy that infringes on reproductive rights specifically, is eugenics. Eugenics is a scientifically inaccurate theory that humans can be improved through selective breeding of population. But like the key kind of aspects is this idea of like superior genes. There's also this idea around certain aspects of a population being more productive members of society. It's how one's value as a human being is tied to their ability to contribute to capitalism. I think one of the things that I kind of wanted to get across in this video is that eugenics is not a thing of the past, and this idea that there are hierarchies in which certain races are more intelligent than each other. That also ties into how we think about body types, different sizes, and anti-fatness, disability, and how today we understand these different identity markers. So as I was editing, I kind of realized that I did not talk about gender and gender identity in the way that I wanted to. And I think when it comes to gender marginalized folk, you are seen as sort of not capable, unable, in the sense of we tie this into the genes element in terms of intelligence, in terms of the decisions, the state, in especially we see this with a lot of these transphobic laws, wants you to do and sees it as you're making the wrong decision. So specifically around consent, around altering your body through surgery, for example, how you identify and them seeing that as incorrect, contraception, birthing rights. It's the white cishet men who are wealthy making these decisions because they see it as they're the more intelligent, they're the more capable, able to make decisions for populations that they aren't a part of because they are superior. If we're going to be focusing on my main topic of poor people, right? The reason that I'm exploring it in relation to identities like race, disability, gender identity, all of these different things like citizenship or lack of thereof, is because the way that you are treated, and then also historically, our relationships to class are very specific. And I think that especially in a lot of left-wing spaces, this gets overlooked because it's seen as class before everything. Because you fall into this identity, your life is not valuable. You are inferior. you shouldn't have bodily autonomy, you shouldn't have kids. That's why, especially around disability, we saw the dialogue around the COVID-19 and how it was just seen like from a lot of the global governments, just get on with it. And even now, there's still no consideration for the day-to-day experiences of disabled people. That is eugenics, because disabled people's lives are not being seen as something that should be prioritized. It's just like, well, we're okay, so we're going to move on. And, you know, for me as a Black Caribbean woman, like, I have a specific relationship to class. And in terms of when you really think about it, after the war, a lot of our ancestors came to the UK to rebuild it, and the NHS, transport, things like that, but continue to be underpaid, treated badly, face discrimination. And the children of these generations are going to experience difficulties, and that's something that we should be challenging, like in terms of these systems and the unfairness, rather than blaming our parents. And I'm saying this at a time where we're in the cost of living crisis, and our Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, is choosing to approach this or resolve this through saying that all young people up until the age of 18 in formal education should study maths. Once again, it's putting the blame on poor people. So if we're investing in this, it's then your responsibility and your failure because you're not budgeting correctly. That is the damage of that policy. That is the damage of that mindset that is within that policy. And just to conclude, I just wanted to say that this viewpoint is not radical, it's not life-changing, it's very damaging. And just the British tabloids, straight away, growing up in the 2000s, oh my gosh, it was just constant representation of like hoodies, welfare state, and these people that are spending their life on the dole, ASBOs, criminality. And it's just, it frames criminality as a working class problem, as a Black problem. We know that all those things tie together. So I'm not one of those people that are like, oh, white working class, and like separate. Like, we all have different experiences as working class people. And the term chav, which I feel like today is now being replaced with nitty. So it's just really about being aware of how these things, how this propaganda impacts our mindsets around who we see as valuable. And there's always like, nothing is a coincidence. I always talk about working class, but then I feel like sometimes I forget about those that are, and I didn't touch on this in the video, but around the underclass. Like if you're not employed, how, especially, oh my gosh, the 2000s, how the underclass was represented. But yeah, just let me know what you think below.